Nope. I am so glad you are here. I'm Liz, as you know, from Megan's Books and Herbs in Minneapolis. I have a guest this week. I have the delightful Damon, and I am waiting for Instagram to be willing to go live with us. It's not there yet, so give me a moment. Oh, there it is. Hi, Instagram people. So, what are we drinking? What are we wearing? Let's start there, shall we? Fabulous cup of tea today. You're drinking what? Propel?
No, it's coconut hydration from Aldi in my recycled Propel bottle.
That's right, reuse,
Yep.
recycle.
My dose of microplastics for the day.
You gotta get them.
Yeah.
You gotta get them in. Unfortunately, mine's ceramic, so no microdosing for me. It's just straight black tea, ashwagandha, gotu kola, and a small chunk of crystallized ginger, which is like ginger candy. It's totally delicious. And just what I needed to sweeten my tea. What are we wearing? Well, I've got a beautiful little necklace on. It is a crescent moon points down, made of some lovely green jade set in sterling silver from Crystal Earth. And then I've got these fabulous rings on. You know the wedding rings are always going to be there, right? I might trade them out for black ones because, widow thing. But I have from Tracy's Treasures, I have 3 beautiful rings. And from Jerry, I have this cute little guy. So all kinds of fun stuff. Which reminds me, I'm going to tell you about Jerry's Chunk Show coming up. It's going to be very exciting. So what is going on out here in the Magus Books wild world? I have quite the cheat card for the days. So be ready. So this Sunday, we're talking Reiki 1. Tonight, of course, I'm teaching Herbs 3. That's year 3 in that program. If you're interested, we're starting that one up again in January for the year 1, folks, because so many people have asked. So I think it's close to a dozen people now have said, hey, are you doing year 1 again? So I've said, sure, we'll do it in January. No problem. It'll be on Tuesday nights. If you're interested, go check it out on the site, magusbooks.com, and sign up. On the 15th will be Jerry's Trunk Show. This is the 15th out of this month, but of next month, 15th of November. So I will come back to that. 25th, Saturday, 2 exciting events, one here, one just down the road. First one, the one that's here, Astrology with Adam, our fabulous in-house astrologer. But later on, after we close up, we are doing a seance at the Recovery Bike Shop. It'll be Liz and I know I'm Liz, but there's another one, and I would make a distinction, but the generic description of us is identical. So just going to say, white lady of a certain age with dark curly hair and glasses, and she's a little shorter and thinner than me. There's not a lot of distinction there for generics, but we did a dry run here, did like a little practice run. It was fantastic. Contacted a spirit from this building. So we're going to be focused on 2 things at the seance at the bike shop. The first one will be, let's see if there's anybody who wants to chat who's local. The second will be giving people the opportunity to try to reach out to someone who's passed. There are some baseline rules. If they've died in the last 2 years, we don't recommend it. There's just too much baggage potential for folks, and it can be too hard. I, for example, will not be attempting to contact my dead husband. That would be a bad idea. I'm going to be Tylering or protecting the space, so I will not be hands-on with the planchette, although I was in the rehearsal. It was fun. And also no one who died by their own hand for the same reasons. It's just not a healthy thing for a good long while. But anyway, we'll talk more about that. Other events coming up, Sunday the 26th, we've got a Reiki share. So if you got your Reiki 1, 2, and or 3, come on down if you just want to trade a little Reiki. It's fun. We hang out, we chat. And I was talking about this on Energy Sunday this week, about the idea of you get not only the experience of getting to give Reiki. If you're not doing a lot of that, it's a great way to get back into that practice or start that practice. You also get to receive Reiki from different people and feel what that's like as it's translated through them. And there's the chit chat. There's all kinds of stuff you pick up just by hanging out with other people who do this kind of work. So come on by on Sunday if you're interested. And later in the day, we have a palmistry class. So do sign up for that if you can. That's one of our by donation classes. Next, good gosh, is it already next week? 2 weeks from now. The 2nd of November, We're starting a series on Introduction to Gardnerian Witchcraft. This is going to be before the store opens at 10 a.m. on Sunday. I know. I got to get up after a good Saturday night and get here before all you do so we can host that class. But there was nowhere else to squeeze it in, so it's when we're doing it. It's a strict 10 to 11, and then everybody's got to go because we got to use the same space to do this on Sunday, do the lives. At noon, when we open up, we'll have Gateway to the Gods. So if you want to come and experience one of our more adult, more entheogenic herbs, what is an entheogenic herb? An herb that, direct translation, helps you see God. Gives you an idea what those herbs do. You get a little sample. We talk some tech, some folklore. We take a little break. We come back and we meditate so you can push that herb as far as you can with that beginner level minimal dose. So get an idea what's going on. And then at 3, Ravenwolf will be doing Cyprian the Mage on Sunday, November 2nd. Fantastic class. His Chaos Magic class is going really well. There's this one. There'll be another one on Ethics in the Craft coming soon. November 8th, Saturday, Alliance Coven will be doing their inaugural series of pagan classes here. It's sort of introduction to paganism classes. This is a fantastic teaching team. They were here before with another group. They're here on their own now. It's going to be a blast. They do a great job with the presentation. I've really been impressed with what they've been able to do and how they handle everything that comes up in the classes. They are an inspiration. So come down for that. That's completely free if you'd like. On the 9th, which is a Sunday, we're doing an Intention Ornament fundraiser class. So there'll be a $5 supplies fee, and everything over and above that will be a donation to the good folks who put on Pagan Pride and Paganicon. I don't know if you know, but they are a tax-exempt organization, and we will be running that class here. They'll be checking in as well, so you'll get to see some representatives from there. If you have questions for them, it's a great thing to show up for. But we're going to make these beautiful, clear ornaments that will fill with little scrolls that say things, whatever you want to write on them, little herbs. If I have any tiny stones, we'll do stones as well. I just don't know what we'll have. So come and check it out. Also, runes class at 3. That was a blast. The first one was great. And we're just going to continue on. He's going to keep going through the alphabet, basically, for the first phase of it. It should be good. The 16th, we'll have that Introduction to Gardnerianism again at 10 before the store opens, Reiki 1, and Chaos Magic at 3. And again, November 15th, Jerry's Trunk Show. So what's Jerry's Trunk Show? Jerry's Trunk Show is all of the stuff that we cannot fit on the floor now that we've moved to a slightly smaller location. I have a ton of Jerry's imports from the southern end of North America, from Southeast Asia, from all over the world. There's mittens, hats, scarves of different weights, lengths, sizes, bags of different sizes, all kinds of everything from something you could fit everything you need to go to work for the day, room for your shoes, room for your computer if you need that, huge bags, to teeny tiny little things that are great for either a night out, or I gave a felt one covered in little felt flowers to my niece who was turning 5, and it was her favorite thing. So come by. You're going to get a lot of holiday shopping done, barrettes, little tchotchkes, all kinds of fun stuff will be in this room on November 15th. And every time I talk about it, people get so excited. So I thought I'd let you guys know. For stuff, what do we got for stuff? Well, I want to remind you all, we got all our calendars and almanacs in stock. So this one is the Witch's Spell a Day. And just for an example of the calendars, there's the tarot calendar. We will have them through mid-December, but we'll probably stop ordering them at some point in December. So come grab them while you can. And for new releases for books, I brought in decks last time, so I thought I'd show you some of the books that are new releases that have just come in. This is Heal What Hurts. It's about healing emotional triggers. So if you're getting triggered by somebody or something on a regular basis, this might have some good advice for you, things you can try to help take that down a notch. We also have, for you cryptid lovers out there, Chasing North American Monsters. So all of the little creatures that are attributed to somewhere in North America. I'm assuming chupacabras are in here. There will be Yeti in here, all kinds of good stuff. And in keeping with the holiday season, collection of haunted dolls. If you want to get really creeped out, this is the book you want. This is so much fun. It's got a foreword by Fred Batt, the demonologist, who hosted Most Wanted, or Most Haunted rather, when it was on. And of course, I gotta show this book off one more time for you guys because he's our very own. Emrys Abner did his book launch party here last weekend. It was so much fun. It was such a good time. He was such a good person to have just in casual conversation with everybody who came. Oh, and I got to tell you, our reader Raven Wolf cannot stop ranting about what a wonderful experience that book signing was. So totally recommend the book. His whole aim is to make ceremonial magic really accessible, and I think he succeeds. The next book is in final edits, and there are a number of us at the shop who are anxiously awaiting for its release next year. But final edits means a year out, so just to warn you, publishing is a slow game. But that's stuff. That's events. Oh, one more before we talk. The readers. Exciting news about the readers. We have two new readers all of a sudden, 2 of them. So Eshu, who you may have seen reading around town, has joined us. He came in, he auditioned. His reading style is magnificent. It is a treat unto itself to hear him do a reading because it's like you're being told a story about your life. And the whole thing is cohesive, coherent. There's no pauses. There's no, oh, and this card means. He just tells you the story, and it's amazingly wonderful. You'll love it. And the other person who's just starting out, oh, he's not on here yet. This is a preview, I guess. Daryl is coming in to do readings, and he is worth coming in to see, not just because he's brand new. They're both great, because he made his own deck. It's an oracle deck. He can do tarot, but he hasn't auditioned here yet for it. But his oracle deck he did readings on. It's his own deck. It's done in the shape of hexagons. So his readings, the cards are all, he fills in that hexagon shape and then goes off in branches where he wants clarification. His readings, his audition was spot on. It was really good. Even when he didn't understand what he was seeing, I knew what he was seeing. So that was fantastic. And the artwork, which I'm sure is AI enhanced, by the way, the artwork is really thoughtful. I really liked it. So it's a treat just to see the deck. There are 2 in the world that exist right now, and that is it. So be warned, you might not get the deck, even though you might really want the deck. He's also got some stuff he'll be bringing in. So we'll have a whole new line of product, I'm happy to say. Other readers, Mondays, dream interpretation from 2 to 6 with Morpheus. He's very insightful, and I do recommend him. If you've got a dream that's been nagging at you, he's the guy to come see. Jesse is doing runes on Tuesdays in the latter part from 3 to 6, and before him is Raven Wolf from noon to 3. Wednesdays, we've got Eshu again all day long, 1 to 6. The same will be true, partially true on Thursday. He's here from noon to 3, and then Heather is here from 3 to 6. She's been wonderful as a reader. They're all great. I know, I can't say enough good stuff about them. On Friday, Raven Wolf will be here from 1 to 4. Daryl will be here from 4 to 6. Both excellent readers. Eshu will be here Saturdays from noon to 3, and Margaret from 3 to 6. Margaret's definitely been really popular. She's definitely taken off with us. She's doing a great job. And on Sundays, we have Eshu for the whole day. So fabulous crew of readers. I am so happy that there's all these good folks coming in. Oh, I forgot. Monday again. Starting this next Monday is when Daryl will start with his deck, and he'll be here from noon to 2. So you can see him on your lunch hour on Tuesdays, and you can see him after work on Fridays. So he should be fun. Lives in the area, so I didn't mind him coming in for just 2 hours. Great guy, veteran, all kinds of wonderful things to say about this guy. But you're here. Mm-hmm. You're the center stage now. So, Damon, you do photography.
I do. Yep.
You do beautiful photography.
Thank you.
What style is it exactly?
So the camera I use for the pieces that I have here is actually an old Sony Mavica, and it uses 3.5-inch floppy disks.
Oh wow.
So yeah. Weirdly, there are a lot of unopened floppy disks. So yeah, I can just go and buy new ones. And then, yeah, I try to do it as there's talk online about whether or not floppy disks are analog or not.
Oh,
But I try to do it as analog as possible, and with the printing technique that I use, that is entirely just like analog on its own. It is a cyanotype print, which gets its name from the color. You may notice it's pretty blue.
cyan is blue. Yeah.
Yep. And it is the most eco-friendly / non-toxic print type.
I'm just going to show you some while he tells you about it.
It is one of the only prints that I can do and not wear gloves and a mask and like goggles and everything. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I love the like texture that it gets.
Yeah, it's gorgeous printing. It's just gorgeous work. You're clearly inspired by architecture more than anything else in life.
Yeah, so I actually I used to do a bunch of nature photography. So a lot of trampsing off into the woods and doing that. I have a couple actually field guides that are available. And then I moved to Minneapolis. And while Minneapolis is pretty green, like there are plenty of green spaces to go to, it just wasn't quite the same. And so I started doing something a little grayer and doing more urban photography. But yeah.
So I think that's very cool. So is there a reason beyond the eco sense of it that it's all blues?
So I, for a long time, have really liked, there's this Dutch process called a Delft, or like Delft plates. So if you go to like an antique store and you see those plates that are usually like a scenic farm scene, lots of geese, like cows and that, and it's white porcelain and blue ink. I've always really liked that. And so this kind of captures that look. But predominantly, while I like the blue is kind of a fact of the medium that I'm working in.
Okay.
I have tried some of my larger pieces. I tone them with either red wine or like a strong tea.
Oh, nice.
And that can make it into more of like a sepia image. But I kind of have a soft spot for the untouched blue.
Yeah, no, I think it's gorgeous. Delightful. I'm just going to keep showing off paintings. Sorry.
No worries.
And these are basically done as postcards. So there's even like the address and the stampy stamp spot and all that jazz for some of them. And they are going to be available here at some point starting today. There's a little data entry work, but other than that.
No, the idea was to make some like nice small like postcard / fridge size.
Oh yeah.
Prints for everybody. It's also, from a logistical standpoint, a little easier because I make all the negatives. And so it is much easier to print a 5x7 negative than like a 24x48.
That is very true.
I can do these at home.
Yeah. That makes them very accessible and easy going to do. So there's even a few. I showed one nature one, but I've got a couple more to show you guys. They show up so beautifully on there. So, and how long have you been a photographer? How long have you been playing with this art form?
Yep, I've been kind of playing around with photography for probably about 8 years. When I bought my first like big boy camera, with lenses that I can change out and everything. And the journey's pretty interesting because I went from a pretty like everybody, I started using my phone. And then I made steps and steps and became much more advanced and much more expensive. And then like after like 7 or 8 years, like maybe like I feel like all artists, no matter what, you should after a while it gets stale and you should kind of like reevaluate what you do. And so I went from a very expensive camera to, well, actually I got the Sony Mavica for free as a birthday gift along with my first floppy disk. But now it's like I pay $20 for a set of 10 floppy disks and the camera is much, much cheaper. And it's just like going more lo-fi. And it's been really rewarding.
That's very cool. It's nice to hear too that you don't have to have, you might not even want the bestest, most expensivest choice out there.
No, and it's really, really interesting because like I got a phone and my phone has over 100 times the megapixels that the Sony does.
I'm sure it does.
It has even so many more than my first like prosumer grade camera does, and it's just crazy. But yeah, there's the part of what I think benefits the media is the presentation. And so you just work into the strengths of what you're working with.
Yeah.
Which for me is, for these are like the texture, the cyanotype really kind of lends to.
Definitely. Yeah. And it sort of brings out just city living and the image of it being just a little gritty, just a little bit harder edged than country living. I don't think that's true. I've lived in rural Minnesota. I don't think but I will admit I'm a city girl born and raised. So you can take the girl out of Brooklyn, but you can't always get the Brooklyn. No, it's not possible. We've tried. All the women in my family, by somebody who lives in Minnesota, have said, "You're just a little brusque."
Yeah. Yep.
It's never coming out all the way. I'm sorry. There's a nice veneer, but unlike these photos.
Yeah. Yep.
Just show the grit. No, that's so cool.
Yeah. So cyanotype, they are actually developed by UV light. And so a lot of these I actually develop in the sun.
Nice.
They were actually big in like the 70s and 80s if you ever used like a sun print kit.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I see people do it with flowers and clothing all the time as well for that.
Yep. So it's big. And that's one nice thing of going into it being more like eco-friendly. It still uses a decent amount of water to clean it off, but you're not like having to dispose of hazardous waste afterwards.
But your traditional photography,
yes,
you're developing pictures. Definitely, you're. It's interesting what's in those chemical baths. You dunk all the negatives and the sheets into. Yeah. That's it. That's all I've got for photography knowledge.
No, it's really they're crazy the amount of I looked into doing like real film development and I'm just too paranoid that I would poison myself.
Well, I'm sure even with a mask, if you do it regularly over years, you're going to absorb a little bit of that stuff every single time. Yeah. It's going to build up. I'm sorry. We'll get you all those liver enhancing herbs and clean it out faster, but that's about all we can do.
No. And they are archival quality, which just means if not left out in direct sunlight, like in a room like this, they will last for years and years.
Nice.
But they don't like any photo.
They don't like sunshine.
They don't like the sunlight.
Yeah, they're not sunlight friendly.
But yeah.
That's very cool. So they're going to be here. And I got to say, some of my favorite art pieces I own are cards that I have framed. I'm not going to lie. I go to thrift stores. I find some frames.
Yep.
And sometimes the frame I buy has recycled art in it. I had a lovely picture of birds that I took out of a frame. Totally a calendar.
Yep.
But it was perfect for my purpose. So the frame was great. Liked the frame. Got rid of the nice calendar art. But I'm glad it made that person happy until it was donated. But framed it up. And I've done that multiple times with cards just because they're cute and they fit small spaces and they're just wonderful.
Yeah, if you need something to fill that weird gap that you have in, like, if you have a print wall, photo wall, they're nice. I think they look really nice in frameless frames. It kind of lets the piece stand on its own.
Yeah, and they'll have a very minimalist, If they have anything at all, it'll be tiny, and often it's just clips for that style frame. It's really beautiful. So yeah, I would agree. I think that would be great there. Or you could do a little series.
Yeah. Yep.
Like in my house, there are wide pillars. They're rectangular shaped. They're like this big. So I have space to put art. And I can do something this big on it, and that's fine. But I can also just do a little series of things like these, and it looks fantastic. So I'd recommend that too. Don't buy 1 by 3. So those will be up at some point today because we're going to sit down here and we're going to get them all in the system. We're going to figure out how we're going to do that real quick when we're done here. So they'll probably be out on the floor by 1 or 2 in the afternoon if you want to come and check them out. Maybe, I don't know, get a reading, a rune reading from Jesse at 3, or come in a little earlier, maybe, and get no, it's Wednesday, isn't it? It's just Eshu all day. It's just Wes all day. So come and get a reading from him. You will be very entertained. In the meantime, we have one other event we are collaborating on. I mentioned it earlier. You might have heard me, because this fantastic photographic artist is not just an amazing artist, but also the manager of Recovery Bike Shop, which is just down the block from us. And I actually mean down the block from us, as in the numbers go smaller.
Yeah.
It's south of us. It's headed toward downtown. Recovery Bike Shop has been around for how long, roughly? Do you know?
We have been in that location for around 12 years. Before that, we were actually in the co-op in Eastside. And then before that, we were in a halfway house.
Oh, wow.
So, yep.
So this is a very cool, it's a great spot, and it's chock-a-block full of bikes. Even if it looks a little empty on the store floor at times, because I walked by last night and looked in and went, oh, they're a little thin up here. But I've seen the basement, and I know the real truth. I've seen the warehouse. There are so many bikes. And not all of them are going to get sold here, right? Some of them are destined to leave the shop in other ways.
Correct.
So how did those bikes escape from Recovery Bike Shop?
So when a bike comes into Recovery, it has one of 3 destinations. The first one, where the majority of the bikes go, is they get fixed up by our staff, put on the show floor, then back on the roads to Minneapolis. The second avenue that they can go, we actually work with shipping partners in like East and West Africa. And so they will take bikes that are just a little more work than we can put in and offer a fair price for.
Just the hours that for the repair time would jack the price up. It's too high.
Yeah. And a bike, especially a bike in like East and West Africa, is life-changing. You know, it turns a 5-mile walk for water that could take, half a day into a much shorter trip. So very happy with that. The other avenue, the smallest avenue that it has, some bikes are just dead. And so they get stripped for parts, and then the parts that are still workable, still living, can find new life on other bikes and then get back out on the road.
And that keeps your repair costs for your customers down, I bet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a little easier. So even if you need to get your bike repaired, Recovery Bike Shop is a great place to go, because they might have used parts for you, and that might be a better deal for you.
Yeah. We have a whole used parts section. And so we have regulars that will come in and dig through all the used parts, I say dig through. It is organized.
Look through, peruse.
Yeah.
And then they can get what they need and they'll do their own repairs. That's so cool.
Yeah, and then we have a DIY workbench that is completely free to use. If you know what you are doing, it is a guide. It is a self-guided kind of workbench.
Wow.
Otherwise, every first and third Tuesday from 7 to 9, we do DIY night, which is a time where if you have something that your bike needs work, you know that something doesn't work on it, you don't know what it is or how to fix it, that is time for you to come in and get help for free.
Wow. That is so cool. I love that. So all of the charity work, what's the general philosophy behind Recovery Bike Shop? Is it just to give back? What's the...
Yep. So there's a couple. So there's a saying that transportation is liberation.
Yep.
And the ability to bring your locomotion, your transportation into your own hands and take control of that. That's kind of the driving force behind a lot of recovery is transportation based. Another, and where I and a lot of the employees kind of tackle it from, cycling can be very insular and very much a boys club. And so the goal of Recovery Bike, one of the goals, is to make cycling more open, more accessible to the public. You're not going to see, really any bikes over $1,000.
Nice.
Which in this day and age is hard.
Yes. Yeah, that's a tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have a brother-in-law who's a cycling enthusiast, and he now has 2 bikes we call the Precious, as far as I know. And yeah, I'm sure he has spent well in excess of $1,000 on each of them over the years. But I will also say he participates in cycling events. I know he has cycled when they lived in St. Paul. He would cycle out to his parents' house, which is west of St. Louis Park somewhere, probably in Minnetonka. So he's not an enthusiast. He's an enthusiast.
Yeah.
He's hardcore. He's one of those bros.
Yeah. Yep. And we will work on absolutely any bike. We haven't gone full circle to being like, no, that bike's too expensive. We won't work on it.
Right.
No, any bike. Other than e-bikes.
Yeah, because that's a motor.
Yep.
Now suddenly you need somebody who can do motors. That's a totally different thing than a bicycle, which you're the motor on, which is kind of the joy of it, frankly. And how long, you guys have been there for over a decade, but how old is the building you're in?
It's quite old.
Okay. I know this building is probably from the late 1800s. I'm kind of guessing that.
Yep, it would be the same. Yep, I would say around over 100 years.
Wow.
Parts of it are newer than others. You can definitely see like, oh, that used to be an exterior wall, and it's not anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, so it has a stereotypical like northeast basement, if you're familiar with those.
Oh yes. Yes, it does. I've seen it. It's true. Now, there's no room down there.
No.
Because there's bikes.
So maybe not
everywhere.
Super stereotypical.
But the look of the wall, everything else, yeah, very, very familiar.
Yeah.
I've run a business here in this neighborhood for quite a while. And because it's so old, there might be some friendly entities running about the space, we're thinking. So perhaps you will join us for the seance on Saturday, October 25th. That's really what we've been talking about next.
Yeah.
Is that event. So are you guys anticipating that we will, might be able to reach an entity? Do you guys have feelings about it?
I have heard, because I was there when a reading was done on the building, that we do have an entity that lives we have 3 floors, including the basement, that lives in the upper floor where we will be conducting the seance.
Yeah.
Or resides. Not
Yeah, hangs out.
Yeah.
Watches over the bikes. Yes. So hopefully we'll reach them. And for people participating, for if you paid for your ticket and you've come in and you've had your nosh and we're going to sit down and do this thing, if you got a relative that has passed away more than a few years ago, hopefully of not something too tragic, we will also be happy to facilitate you reaching out to them just to see if they've got any messages for you. This is a time of year that traditionally more than one society has felt this is the right time of year to contact ancestors that have gone before you, especially if you knew them. It's just easier because you have that personal energetic tie to them and they to you. Presumably they loved you. We're hoping, if you're looking for an angry confrontation with that abusive parent or grandparent, maybe not for this event. Maybe that's a private event. You hire somebody to guide you through it individually. But for those of you who just want to maybe talk to your favorite uncle who's passed, hi Mike. I only have one uncle who's passed. It's Mike. He was a treat. Or if you want to reach out and just see what's in the neighborhood, we'll be there on the 25th. After we close up shop here at 6, we'll head over there. We've got a few tickets sold already, so I know we're definitely doing this. So hopefully you guys will find us and join us and make it more fun. You guys are going to have a few treats out, right? And hopefully we'll have time for a little nibble first and hopefully a little nibble after, because I find that just having a little nosh after helps everybody's energy settle down from the experience. And, then you can decide if you need to go out and deal with it in a restaurant or a bar somewhere else, depending on the level of experience you have and your relationship to those things. I'm not much of a drinker. I'm not, but I recognize there might be some of you out there who go, that was a lot. I got to do something. I'm probably just going to have a dessert personally, but that's just me. Chocolate is always good. But hopefully we'll see you guys there. Like I said, we've sold tickets here already, and you can buy tickets either here at Megas Books or online, which is how our tickets were sold, or over at Recovery Bike Shop. They've got the same tickets, the same capacities. So I've emailed the delightful person who bought some tickets, Christine, I think. Yeah, Christine. We're looking forward to seeing her there and her friends, and hopefully we'll see you there too. But in the meantime, it's getting to be about that time. I got to wrap things up and open the shop with Liz, actually, because the Liz's are working today. So hopefully we'll see you in here soon at our shop in Minneapolis or online at megasbooks.com. And as always, on behalf of myself, presumably Damon, and the rest of the staff here at the shop, we just want to thank you for being your magical you. We love it. We think you're fabulous. You can't help it. I know you're wonderful. And while you're here, if you could, take a second and do the magical things you can do for us here. The freebies, the likes, the subscribes, the shares, the comments, all that fun stuff. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Blessed be.